All right, we're recording. Welcome to the call. I'm really excited to chat more about coaching, kind of what it is we do. We have Sydney who's going to share her story. And if you don't know me, my name is Bree. I've been a coach for 5 years. So if you're hopping on, most likely you've been invited by a coach to learn kind of more about the opportunity, what it could mean to you, kind of what we do. So welcome. If you think of somebody, this will be recorded. So if you think of somebody that would enjoy this, that you think needs to see this, that would also love this opportunity, we will record it for you guys to share with a friend. But we'll dive in. I wanted to talk a little bit about the basics of coaching. What does it mean to be a coach? What we do. Nothing crazy. Like, it's very straightforward. So we'll try to lay it out there as simple as possible. I'm sure you guys have heard of programs like P90X, Insanity, Shaun T, Shailene Johnson. Beachbody is the #1 at-home fitness company, the creators of Shakeology, and we have fitness apparel. We've got workout supplements. The nutritional shake is Shakeology. You guys see me, Sydney, drinking it every day for our health purposes. And as Beachbody coaches, very simply, we get a website. When you sign up, you get a website, and you earn a portion of sales made through all of those items. That's kind of like the basics. And then there's more to earning, but you do, as a coach, just earn straight up commissions from the things that you're selling. Now, it's not about selling, definitely more about your journey, what you're sharing, and who you can relate that to. So I do want to share a little bit about my story, and then Sydney's going to share her story, because sales is like tacky. It's not fun. Nobody likes to do sales, but in reality, like, obviously we all have jobs in sales. At the end of the day, you know, things are about sales. So I want to share how this business is a little different. I want to share how it's more of a community, more of something that I was able to vibe with, because it was more about my growth and what I wanted in life versus just selling a product. So I grew up homeschooled. I'm 29 now, but when I was growing up, I grew up homeschooled, very religious, structured background. And I kind of ran from that in my teen years, was very rebellious, got into drugs, dabbled in like alcohol and drugs as early as like 15. Like, I was smoking, I was sneaking out, I was just very destructive behaviors in my young teen years. I had created in my life a really bad habit of not eating. I realized I had an eating disorder, diagnosed later on, but was struggling with eating. And when I did, I would purge. So that was something since as early as 12, having a mindset, hating my body, not loving what I looked like, thinking that I needed to be skinnier, to be loved, to be attractive. That was just kind of my mindset. Excuse me. So when I left my family's house, I was 18 years old. I literally on a Friday told them I was out, peaced out of my family's house, and went to live on my own and live in this toxic environment. I was in a bad relationship. I pushed religion aside. I pushed my family aside. The abusive relationship obviously just kind of pushed my bad addictions. I was drinking to try to numb the pain of being in a bad, horrible spot. I felt like I didn't have anybody to turn to, so I stayed in that relationship for way longer than I should have. Not only was it physically abusive, mentally, I feel like physically, you know, is great. You know, I healed from that, but mental abuse is something that is really hard to come through. And I was beat down just every day, you know, always told I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't going to amount to anything. I didn't graduate from college. I didn't go to college. I barely made it through high school alive, I feel like. So in that relationship, I was pretty much bottomed out. I was doing drugs behind my boyfriend's back. I was drinking every night with his friends. I was working at a retail store. I was working retail and trying to navigate that to pay some bills, and just really feeling trapped. I didn't really know. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be in debt. I didn't really have a passion for anything. I was just really living in this numb the pain mentality. That was it. So when I did leave the toxic relationship, it was a rough season in my life. It was hard to stay strong when I felt like I had no strength. Fast forward a little bit, I was 22. out of that relationship, working in a bar, met a guy who was also started working at the bar, had a friendship, started kind of dating and hanging out. Fast forward a year later, found out I was pregnant. And at the time, I was living in a house with 3 other people. I was renting a bedroom, terrified of how that was going to play out. I could barely afford my rent of 1 bedroom, and now I was going to be bringing this child into the world. Wasn't really sure how that was going to happen. I just knew, I took that as a sign that I had messed up enough. I had screwed enough things up that I wasn't going to mess this up. And so I dove into finding a place of my own. I was very on the fence with my relationship at the time. He wanted to support me, but I had all guards up. After my abusive relationship, I just didn't let people in. So even though he was supportive, I didn't know how to ask for help. I had a really hard time asking for anything, or asking when I was struggling. And so that was on me, but I really was like so self-conscious of asking. I was afraid of getting put down. I was afraid of, getting denied, that I just didn't ask. So I was very isolated. I isolated myself. And then after having my daughter, I kind of had this mentality of, when I had her, things were going to be okay. I was like, I'm going to get this mom gene, I'm going to have her and things are going to be good, and we're going to stick this out and it's going to be great, and I'm going to be happy again, and I'll be able to have my life back and like go out with friends and whatever. When in reality, when I had her, I fell into postpartum depression, which I was unaware that it was even a thing. I didn't even know that postpartum depression was a thing. I just thought I like missed the mom gene. I thought that somehow, somewhere along the way when I had her, I missed like the golden ticket of mom life. Like I didn't know how to be a mom, have my shit together. Like I struggled so hard in the first 6 months of her at home. Her dad moved in, he went back to work, was working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I was home with this baby. And I hated my body even more. So that fed into my struggle with eating disorders. I couldn't turn to drugs and alcohol. So I was at home stressed and having to deal with all these emotions that I had never dealt with. So she was about 8 months old when I was scrolling social media like we all do. We all do it. Finding some sort of motivation or something to pull me out of it, and looking at these girls' pages of, on Facebook as like people who were working out and people who were getting through parent life and just loving it. And I was like, why am I struggling? Why do I cry every day? Why do I have no friends? I have no mom friends. I have nobody to connect with. I have nobody to talk to. Aaron was doing the best he could, but he didn't understand the depression that I was in. I didn't fully understand it or know how to explain it. So I remember following this girl on Facebook. She had messaged me a few times about her groups, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But after I was nursing, and after trying a few things, those failed attempts at quick fixes, I had done other brands and companies of like wrapping it, sucking it, tucking it, dieting, right? Like it wasn't working for how I was feeling. My body wasn't changing. My mindset wasn't changing. So I remember one night I had just nursed her. I laid her down in the crib and I walked by the bedroom door, which had like one of those little janky Walmart, hang on the door mirrors. And I remember being in like my bra, my nursing bra tank thing, and my boobs didn't fit in it, and I was wearing volleyball shorts, and I just felt really exposed walking by that mirror. And what I saw, and I just started ripping myself apart. Like I literally just ripped myself to shreds. You're ugly, you're worthless, you're cellulite, your thighs are disgusting, your boobs are never going to look the same. You're fat in places that you just, it's never going to, that baby ruined your body. Who would ever love you? Like all these things going through my head. And I was like, this has to stop. I started crying, like uncontrollably, called Aaron. Like I just was sobbing because I looked at my daughter, and as much as I wanted to give her everything, and I was, she was clothed, she was fed, the one thing that I couldn't give her was a mom to look up to, because I myself wasn't even confident. And we all know that they learn from what we do, not from what we say. And I was doing the exact thing that I would have hated for her to grow up with an eating disorder. I would hate for her to grow up hating herself and feel the way that I was feeling about myself. So I knew that something had to change. I knew that I couldn't take care of her the way that I wanted to take care of her if I didn't start fixing the shit in my own life. So I messaged this coach that I had been following, and I was like, I'm all in. I'm ready, just tears on my little flip phone. I think I had like a little flip phone. I was like, I'm in, I want this. What do I have to do? Like, I can't afford it, but what do I have to do? And so she told me, she got me set up with my workouts. We had DVDs back then. Thank goodness for the Netflix of fitness. We can get them all, and you don't have to mess with DVDs because our kids just scratch them up. But anyway, I got started and I haven't looked back. I literally signed up, said, I don't know if I can afford this. So you said I can make money doing this. Like, tell me how to do that. And that's how I became a coach. I was so self-conscious, on antidepressants, seeking therapy, had gone back to work part-time, was just struggling. And I was like, if she can do this, and she was a depressed new mom and like had gotten through it, if she can do that, I can do this. And so I started plugging into my workouts. I started sharing it for accountability on social media. That's what I did. I just plugged into my social media platform of Facebook, now Instagram. I didn't even have an Instagram when I started. But I just started plugging in and plugging away at my journey, at my struggles, and chipping away at that, while also just inviting people to do it with me. It wasn't about knowing everything. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about the support system that it created for me, and the team, and the support around the struggles that I was facing. Knowing that it wasn't going to be easy, knowing that I wasn't going to eat perfect, knowing that I was going to have days where I still fell back in my old ways of eating, or not eating, I should say. But I just kept plugging into the community, and I had girls cheering me on, and girls lifting me up, and girls going, how are you? And I had never had that before. Being homeschooled, never having gone to college, I didn't have a community of women that were supportive, right? So I found Beachbody. I was a coach. Within a year, I had quit my retail job. I was back home, getting to be home, present with my daughter. But I also had this system to plug into, so I wasn't isolated. I was able to share my journey enough to be growing in income, to leave that job and still financially support what we needed. And then within 5 years now, I've been able to bring Aaron home. So we work this business with now our 3 little ones. It hasn't been an easy journey. It's been ups and downs, but I would not change a thing over the last 5 years. It's just really given me the confidence to be who I want to be, and the ability to grow an income from home while being present with my kids. So I had major success in the business. We now have a premier team gunning for elite this year, which basically means we have rock stars on our team, not just me having success, but other people in the team having success as well and doing this as well. Let's see. I think that's my story. I think I covered it all in a nutshell. I've had 2 more pregnancies. I've gone through coaching with back issues, physical therapy, relationship stuff, but that's all for another time. But I do want to introduce Sydney. She's going to share a little bit about her story. She's been a coach for 6 months now, just shy?
Since April. So yeah,
okay.
Just shy of 6 months.
Okay, cool. So Sydney came to me. Well, I guess I'll let you share your story, but her and I are like local to each other. We've been friends on Facebook for probably longer than 5 years, but I probably just randomly added you, or somehow like a people you may know type of thing, where we just ended up Facebook friends, and the rest is history. But here we are 5 years later. She's 6 months in and going to share her story. So I'll mute myself. Go ahead, Sydney. You can take it away and share a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Okay. All right. So I'm Sydney, like I said. I've been a coach since April of this year, so 2019. I currently work as a full-time nurse at an ER. And let's see I don't even know where to start. So I've always been like a fitness person. I've always been a gym goer. That's never been an issue for me. I've always worked out. But it's always been kind of not in the healthiest way possible. I would like go days without eating and like tell myself that I'm fat, and here I am like 100 pounds. I think I graduated high school like 80 pounds, literally. So then I graduated high school, went to school. I didn't know what I was going for. I was just wasting a bunch of money, so I stopped. And then I met my current husband, Tim. Him and I connected, and I was just working full time. I was working as a CNA, so that's like the bottom of the totem pole in healthcare. So it was awful. I knew I didn't want to do it forever. And so then 6 months into Tim and I's relationship, I found I was pregnant. And so I was like, well, I got to get my shit together. So I started nursing school when I was like 8 months pregnant, had her, and continued through the program. Let's see, Isla was probably like 6 months old, and Bree had reached out to me the first time and was like, hey, I'm doing this coaching thing. Like, have you ever heard of Beachbody? And I had done the insanity workouts. Tim like had DVDs from God knows where they came from.
I think
He
we all
had
have
them.
the DVDs from back in
Yes.
the day. Like Erin and I
Yeah.
did P90X, and I had no idea coaching was a thing. It was like we did P90X at 3 a.m. when we got off our bar shifts.
Yep. So I had done those before. So that was my knowledge of Beachbody. She was like, well, I'm having this group. And I was like, well, I'm like in school, and came up with all the excuses not to. So then flash forward, graduated nursing school, started my full-time job. And then last year got pregnant with my second baby. And I just had her this past February. So with my first one, I went through the postpartum depression as well. And I kind of, instead of like reaching out to people or like finding somebody to connect with, I secluded myself. I would go days without eating. Like I said, still, I continue doing that. I'd eat like 2 Oreos for a day, and I'd be like, well, I'm done eating for the day. And it wasn't healthy. My husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time. He had no idea it was happening because I was home a lot because I worked nights. And so I was home by myself. I do that. And so that's how I ended up losing my weight with my first baby. So obviously it wasn't the healthy way. So in this time around, I was like, well, it's getting to my 8-week mark. And so I looked into Beachbody, and I was like, hey, Bree's a Beachbody coach because she's reached out to me a couple times. So I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, I want to do these like workouts or whatever because I'm almost to my 8-week mark, so I can start working out again. And I, like, in my head, I was like, Sid, you're 20, I was 27. You need to like not be tearing yourself down. You need to make sure you're doing it the right way. And I had seen Bree do it multiple times, and I was like, well, shoot, if she's able to do it, then obviously I can too. So reached out to her, and I was like, maybe I should do coaching because it will keep me accountable, because like I have about 50 pounds to lose, and I know that I'm not going to stick to it if it's just like me at home. So I joined coaching essentially for like the accountability aspect of it. Because if I'm sharing with the world and doing all the things and whatever, then I'm more likely to stick to it. And turns out I was right, because 6 months in and I'm still doing it. So then I started earning a little bit of an income because Brie was like, hey, if you help 3 people, you earn your money back for all of your stuff that you've paid for in the beginning. And I was like, sweet, okay, that's easy. And ended up helping much more than that.
Did you help like 12 people your first month as a coach, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Just by inviting them to like join you. It wasn't about like, I need to know what the heck I'm doing. It was about, let's do this together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I did my first program. I did 21-day fix. I saw great results with that, and it was pretty quick. And I was like, sweet. Okay. And then I started Brie was doing the Transform 20. So I decided I wanted to do that. Saw great results with that. And now I'm day 49 of 100 on my 100-day program. So I'm almost halfway. Pretty excited about that. And since then, since starting, I've kind of slowly realized like the income potential you can have. So my goal is to eventually be able to not be a nurse anymore, because I've realized it's not what it's all cracked up to be. It's not what I thought it was when I started. And also, like, I think it really hit me when Isla was graduating preschool and I had a shift to work that day. And I literally had to sell like my left ovary for somebody to come for just 2 hours of my shift so I could leave. And I waited for her, and she finally got, the girl that was working for me finally got there. And I literally sped as fast as I could to her graduation. And I was literally running in the parking lot. Like all my family saw me sprinting to the door and to the front. And I like walk in just in time for her to go up on stage. And I was like, this is not okay. Like I need to be a present mom. I need to be there for my kids. Like I shouldn't have to fight to go to my daughter's preschool graduation, but I mean, it's part of healthcare. It's what I signed up for. Unfortunately, we work weekends, we work holidays. I could work at a clinic and make half what I make, but like I just can't, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it forever. And I know that. So that's why I enjoy coaching. I would do it every day if I could. And I do it every day, but I mean like full time every day. That's all I do. That's all I could focus on. That would be like my dream life. But at this point, I currently am under a contract with the hospital because they paid for my bachelor's degree. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. Yeah. Slowly but surely. So,
but I think it's cool. Like, I mean, obviously you work full time. Like you have 2 kids that, I mean, and I find it insanely inspiring. Like I see you getting up at the crack of dawn because you're not just squeezing in a 20-minute workout. You're like, I need to pump. I need to get my life together. I need to work my business. I need to send some invites. And then I like go work this 12-hour shift. And then you get off and you're present for your kids. And then you're getting on team calls. Like, but you're plugging in a way where it's like, it's doable. It's, you know, it's something that's getting you to where you want to be. And to see that somebody as busy as you with 2 kids while breastfeeding, while doing this yourself, working on your fitness and health goals, and working 12-hour shifts at a hospital, like, that's a lot. Like a lot of people, I think, can relate to like wanting something more, but then also use the excuse of I'm really busy at my job, or, you know, oh, I have kids and like I'll just wait for them to graduate high school before I do anything or whatever. And it's like your life isn't going to change. You're not going to get to where you want to be, or you're not going to have more time with your kids. And feeling fulfilled in something was important to me. Like I didn't want to just be a stay-at-home mom. There's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't want that. Like I wanted to be present. I wanted to be home with my kids, but I also felt like I needed something outside of that that was like my own. And I also wanted to contribute financially, and I also wanted to travel. And so this gave me like the best of both worlds, was being able to plug in, feeling really fulfilled in a career, but also having the flexibility of like building it in the time that worked for me. So whether that looks different for every person, I know Sydney, you plug in way differently than what I plug in the day, but getting it done and getting to put your focus first on your own health journey, and like doing it in a way where your story isn't, oh, like Sydney, you look great, and then having to like come to reality of like, oh, well, it's because I only ate 2 Oreos this week. Like,
right.
Oh,
And that's
like
not
you're
okay.
so lucky. The weight just fell off of you. You just had a baby and you look so amazing. And like, I was the same way. People were like, oh, like you're so lucky. And I was like, literally battling inner stuff. And like, I mean, I haven't eaten in days. Like, that's not lucky. Like, that's not a way that I want to feel about my body or like treat my body, but it's a vicious cycle. So the fact that, I mean, you've already created some income, you're getting paychecks, you're, you know, able to, I know you told me, like, able to kind of like pull back on the overtime and then use that time to build this and still create some sort of income. Also, you know, using it to pay for the products that you want to use anyway, and contribute to the household in ways that, you know, whether you want to get your nails done or, you know, take the kids to ice cream or whatever, where it's like little things, but that's growing to something bigger. So, I do want to reiterate, like, I think so many people in this business think that they need to be at their goal before starting. And I know Sydney had just had her baby, so I want to share that. Like, Sydney was 3 weeks postpartum when you reached out the first, and then we were like, okay, you can start working out in 6 weeks. So, you know, everybody thinks that they need to have this transformation or have it figured out, or I need to know everything and be at X weight before I start coaching because I need to know it all. And honestly, I think it's way more impressive and way more relatable when somebody starts as a coach with their day one, because people need to see the reality is that it's a journey and it's hard, and you need that accountability factor of inviting people to do it with you, and not just, oh, Bree, that's great, you're fit and healthy and you have it all figured out. Like, now I'm in a coach because I know what I'm doing. You know, like, it's more motivating to see someone that's on that day one journey of, I am in that spot, I am postpartum, I do have this stuff that I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, but I'm going to do it. And I know other moms and other girls can relate to not feeling great in their body, but there's a way to do, you know, something about it with a community around you. I know, like,
Right.
just like this business attracts people that are like-minded, that want something more. We're proof that the products work. We just use the products and share what's working for us. Some of the awesome benefits of coaching, obviously we work from home or work from a coffee shop or work if you travel. You can set your own hours, be your own boss. There's not 40 hours work week if you don't want it to. You know, you can set your pace, and whatever success you want out of this is what you're going to put into it. You're going to get back out of that. And then recapping, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a nutrition expert. We have all the programs built by personal trainers. I mentioned Tony Horton and, you know, Shanti, Shailene Johnson. We have all these personal trainers who create the programs that we utilize, right? You don't have to be an expert in the fitness. And we have nutrition experts creating nutrition plans that we all utilize to help one another. We don't have to be a nutrition expert. What we are is a fitness cheerleader. We're supporting people. We're supporting people in their needs. And we have a passion for helping others. That doesn't mean you have to be the expert in it. We believe in this business. We believe in them. We set groups up. So as coaches, we just set up a group on Facebook or an app, and we get people plugged in to use these programs and to do this with us. That's what a coach does. We share our journeys on social media, just the day-to-day of what we're doing, our busy schedules, our kids, our lives, what we're doing in a day to make choices to become the people that we want to be, so that we're not stagnant in that stuck spot. Beachbody is highly reputable. We have an A+ rating with the Network Marketing Bureau. I don't know the exact term for it, but we've been on talk shows. We have celebrity trainers who have been on shows like the Kim Kardashian show, Revenge Body. Our trainers have been used and our programs have been used for that show, as well as many others. As a coach, you get 3 websites. So you get your coaching website, you get your customer website, and then your Shakeology website. You get 25% of all sales. So anything that you sell, anything that you share with somebody that, you know, is just a sales, you get 25% of, which is unheard of. Most sales are not that high. You can use this to grow a business or simply get a discount and help a friend or family member that you think could utilize this as well. We build a team alongside of helping customers get set up. We help mentor you in how to help others do this business. So you never have to do it alone. We have a team. We have team calls. We get on calls like this to share the opportunity. So as you grow a team, then there are bonuses and cycle volume and all that, where you can also earn an income as you grow a team. Honestly, the 25% off all the products was worth it for me because I was wanting to save money and I wanted to lose weight. So when she said I got a 25% discount, I was all in about saving money on my monthly products anyway. And the fact that I got to grow a business on top of that, and it was just my effort that I put into it, was crazy to me. Like, it's my effort. I can grow a business for free. I've grown this from the ground up. No home parties. Hallelujah. I don't want to set up racks of clothes. I don't want to bring mascara and makeup to somebody's house every weekend. I didn't want that life. I didn't want to book every weekend between dance and ballet and gymnastics selling something. I didn't want to go to somebody's house. I didn't want them to go spam their friends and get them to buy something out of pity. I didn't want that. We do have team calls. We have free training webinars, lots of YouTube videos, one-on-one mentorship to get your business started and as you progress. But I just think like the no home parties is like my kind of thing. We use social media to reach people, and we also have training on that. Let's see. So it's a $15 business service fee every month, which also gets you your 25% off discount. So you're saving money anyway if you're using the products. The $15.95 is just website maintenance and just like your website fees to keep that maintained, as well as no having to house products. So you don't have to buy products to then try to peddle off to your friends. you literally get a customer care website. So no buying mass products. You're selling through a website, which is freaking incredible. I don't want to buy 25 bags of a shake and try to peddle it to friends. I would much rather them sign up, get their own thing, have a customer care team. So that's what your $15.95 covers every month. And that would start in month 2. So your first month that you sign up, it's just the products and the fitness journey that you want to start on, that is your sign up fee. So whether that's, you want to focus on fitness, nutrition, both, your coach that invited you to this call will kind of help you figure out what a best fit is, but then it's free to sign up as a coach when you start with your product bundle of the things that you want to focus on and get started with. And then if it doesn't work out for you, but I will say it takes consistency over time. But if it doesn't work out for you, there's no obligation. There's no cancellation fees or penalties. There's no requirement of sales per month, and there's no requirement of purchases per month. It's on you and what you want to grow with it. There is incentive for using the products because we truly believe that in order to share this business, you need to be using the products yourself. So there's incentive like trips and such as you use the products and help other people join. But again, no cancellation fee. There's no required purchase, just aspects like that. So anything else, Sydney, that you want to add before we end this call? Oh, you're good.
I don't think so.
I would just say, freaking do it, right?
Yeah.
You can sit around for 5 years like Sydney did and watch, or you could literally just start right now and stop, using your job as an excuse or using your kids as an excuse or whatever reason it is. I literally started because I didn't want to go to a gym. I didn't want to have the diet mentality. I wanted a lifestyle where I could go and feel good about eating pizza on a Friday night while also being able to share this with others for my accountability, while also growing a bomb ass business, while creating income. I wanted that. And the fact that that exists, every day I get on these calls and I pinch myself this is real life. I sit in my bedroom, drink coffee, and help women freaking grow a badass business. So,
the only thing that I ever regret is not starting sooner. I could say that.
But your excuses to not start, you're oh, I'm doing it now with 2 kids and a job. So
right.
My excuse is
I have way more going on now than I did initially. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm so glad we got on this call. It will be recorded, like I said, so you can send it to friends or somebody if you think that it would be of interest to them. Of course, whoever reached out to you to join this call, please reach out to them so that if you have questions or you're ready to get started, more than happy to answer them and help you get plugged into the team. We are enrolling for our September mentorship. So if you want to grow a kick-ass business and you want to get healthy and fit and you love this community and the idea of support and leveling up in your life, please reach out to the coach that invited you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.